Phase Hero episode. What is this? 8 already? Is this like number 9? I don't even know. Some number
8.
of Phase Hero. 8 starts right now. Brandon Davis joined this afternoon by Jamie Jurek.
Hello, everybody. It's going to be a fun one today.
We got Jenna Anderson.
Hey, everybody. I think it's a chunky show. Pretty safe to say.
Woo! We got Aaron Perrine.
What's going on, everybody?
And coming up shortly, we're going to have Ultraman Rising star Christopher Sean live on Phase Hero. So go ahead and stay where you are, because any minute now, Christopher's going to be joining us to talk about Ultraman Rising. We'll try to keep it spoiler-free, just in case you haven't seen Ultraman Rising yet. We'll talk about what Ultraman Rising is when Christopher joins us. But we're very excited for that. We got a real hero on the show today. Amazing. I want to thank everybody for watching the Creature Commandos interview with James Gunn and the cast. That was a super fun interview to do. It seems like people are having a super fun time watching it. I also want to thank everybody for just generally supporting Phase Hero, following it on Instagram, following on Twitter, and all that stuff, and all that. The 5-star reviews you guys are leaving. Seeing the positivity around this is just awesome. Thank you for that. You guys rock. Jamie and I had a pretty cool couple days here. Jamie, you want to tell them what we were doing?
Oh my gosh, we went to the Gladiator II premiere. BD got a spot on the carpet under his own name, which just felt amazing to be a part of it. I got to be his videographer. Look at that. Although I think BD took that video.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, we felt so glamorous. I've never felt more glamorous in my life.
I gotta say, Jamie rocked the hell out of that outfit. Went full Roman. Look at that. Look at that. This was a fun night. Well, you saw. I've already shared my thoughts on Gladiator 2. So while we're gonna get to Marvel, we're gonna get to DC, and we're gonna get to Ultraman. We gotta start with Gladiator a bit here. So what did you think of Gladiator now that you've seen it?
I really liked it. I'm a big fan of the first movie. I love Ridley Scott so much. It certainly isn't as good as the first one. Temper expectations in that regard. But I had a great time. Man, Denzel is amazing in this movie. Just a powerhouse. Obviously, it's Denzel. I also really love Joseph and Fred because they're little freaks. I love watching little freaks. I had a good time. I really did. I don't think it quite cracked my top 10 of the year, but I'm going to go see it again happily with Tony. So,
yeah, I'm there with you. I thought it was fun. Not even fun. Fun is not the word for this movie. It was fine. It was good. It wasn't as good as the first one. Not even close, really. But I feel like they had a really good story on paper. And then in execution, I felt like some of the beats felt a little predictable or not as emotionally impactful as I thought they were going to be. But I still enjoyed it. I mean, especially those opening sequences, those action scenes in the beginning of the movie. If there was more of that, oof, when people see it, they'll know. I see all the comments wondering if Pedro was there. No Pedro Pascal at the LA premiere. Him and Joseph Quinn, I believe, both stayed in London because I believe that's where Fantastic Four is filming.
They were filming somewhere. There's this very Art Deco looking building. I'm totally blanking on what country it is, but they flew there literally the same day as the premiere to go film there. So they're busy.
Wow. Okay.
I love that this picture I took of Snoop keeps coming up because I don't know why Snoop was there, but when I turned around and saw Snoop, I got so excited.
As you should.
Snoop. I was like, that's like seeing royalty, and the way he was dressed too. I was like, oh, I'm so hyped for Snoop. People in the comments are asking what's better, Gladiator or Wicked. You'll have to tune into our Glicked episode next week to find out that answer.
Yeah, we will have Wicked and Gladiator discussions on Phase Hero next week. It was good to see Snoop Dogg there because I love seeing the guy from Fortnite get work. It was cool to see him having a good time. We saw Denzel. We didn't get Denzel. This is why I pulled up the clip because just in case Denzel stopped, the camera was rolling. But this is what happened. Watch and listen.
Was that we didn't get Denzel or?
Oh wait, that was the end.
One with Complex.
Gotta go.
Just one for Complex.
Denzel, I just want to know what you think about the movie.
Nothing.
No, Denzel.
Well, that's what happens sometimes.
Well, that was that. We didn't get Denzel.
Yeah, that is what happens sometimes on those carpets. We got Paul Mescal, though. We got a few people, but I should have known if Denzel didn't stop for King Charles. Wasn't coming to the Brandon Davis spot on the carpet either. But I figured the interviews from Gladiator 2 will be on my channel soon. But I figured it'd be cool to just share the Paul Mescal interview now. It's very short. These carpet interviews are quick. They're not a full 4 minutes. So here's what Paul had to say with me at the Gladiator 2 premiere. Making a sequel.
Yeah.
Now, it's awesome to see you as Lucius.
Thanks.
If Ridley does say we want to keep this, we want to make it a franchise that keeps going, have you started fantasizing about where it could go from here?
I'm trying to put one foot in front of the other right now. I'm not I've never done anything like this press tour, so I'm like white knuckling it to the finishing line. But we're close, and that script's not going to be finished in the morning, so I can't wait to see what they come up with, and then when they have a script, I'll fold whatever ideas I have into it.
Hell yeah, man. Well, you were fantastic. And I'm doing one quick bit with everybody. You just walked out of Gladiator 2, seeing it for the first time. What did you think?
What did I think? I was in it. What do you mean? I think it's fucking great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Later.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm taking that energy into post-Phase Hero recaps every time now. I thought that episode was fucking great. we were all in it. No, that was cool. Jamie, was there any other highlights from the carpet you wanted to share?
Wow, it was just like seeing certain people. Like Connie looked amazing, and everything. Just it was a bummer that Pedro wasn't there, but ultimately, like it was just there was an energy that night that it doesn't always necessarily happen at carpets, and everyone just was like looked their best. It was great.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's switch over to DC real quick before we get to our Ultraman Rising special guest. DC Universe is making plenty of headlines here. Jenna, I think you're going to kick us off on this one, right?
I am, because we have slightly breaking news. Like this broke less than an hour ago. Immediately threw it into the rundown. So a Sergeant Rock movie is confirmed to be in the works at DC from Challengers and queer director. I'm totally going to butcher his name. Jamie, can you help me pronounce his name?
Oh, Luca, I know it, but then it's going to fall out of my mouth wrong. Guadagnino.
Let's go with that.
I'm so bad with language that I love his films, but if I'm gonna butcher it too, this is bad. We need to get things written out phonetically.
That's got to be an Italian name, right? Luca Guadagnino.
I mean, yes.
Okay, listen, I got you. It's Guadagnino.
Guadagnino with Daniel Craig, who is also working with him on Queer in talks to star. It is being written by Justin Kuritzkis, who has also written Challengers and Queer, so a lot of collaboration with that. The reports say that it's still in the very early stages. It could fall apart, but that James and the other people at DC are very bullish on the script being like in the right place before they move forward with it. I know this was something that was very heavily rumored in the past couple months, and it was kind of a thing of like, that'd be cool if it ultimately became a reality. I love that we're now at the point of it getting reported in the trades, because I just think this could be such a cool project in the DCU. I want to know what everyone else thinks.
For people who might not know and be familiar with Sergeant Rock, what's Sergeant Rock, Jenna?
So he is a World War II superhero, ostensibly. He fights in the trenches of the war and is kind of just always stuck in that, for lack of a better term. There are stories that take him into different decades, into different sort of scenarios, but he really is just kind of like DC's premier wartime hero. Like he headlined his own comic just in adventures in war with his teammates for years and years on end. And so that would probably be the sort of story set in World War II. His main group is called the Easy Company, which there's already speculation that GI Robot and Creature Commandos could be tied to that, which that could be interesting. If I'm getting live action GI Robot from this creative team, I'm going to lose my mind. Like that sounds delightful. So
I can't wait till we're allowed to talk about Creature Commandos, because the GI Robot stuff there, I have a feeling I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but I feel like it's going to make Jenna giddy. And I'm pretty sure you've seen enough of it to know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this is cool news. I think I like what the DC universe is doing. I like how they're going to make household names out of more and more characters, and I trust James Gunn quite a bit. I think it's really cool to be bringing a hero like this to the screen.
I just Googled it, and it's Guadagnino. and my Italian boyfriend Tony Paletto would be really ashamed of me today if he witnessed this.
Wait, it's Guadagnino?
Guadagnino.
Okay.
Guadagnino. I have to do this with it. I can't not. I will say I love the idea of him tackling a superhero story, just like with his style. It's pretty interesting.
Daniel Craig makes me really interested in this. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I judge all of my excitement on DC perspective projects on what Jenna does immediately following the news, and I just like went over there like immediately to look, and you're like, "Hooray! This is amazing!" And it's just he's going. James Gunn and them are doing this so different than what's going on in Marvel. Like it's just so we random characters that I think are cool, and that's what we're gonna do. And you can roll your eyes at a Peacemaker show before it comes out, and then when it comes out, it's crazy and great and good. So more of this is interesting. Wartime stuff is going to be kind of interesting to see. Is it going to be period? Is it going to be somehow modern? You wouldn't think so, but who really knows? There is like Sergeant Rock stuff, but I can't imagine them adapting beat for beat some of those old comics, right, Jenna? Like it's very interesting.
I think they would take some liberties. Like even like the most recent Sergeant Rock miniseries was written by Bruce Campbell and has him fighting zombies. So like obviously we're not going in that kind of direction, but that is kind of how malleable of a character he is. So maybe they'll borrow like a villain or a concept or just something from the old comics and then like tell a new story with it. I feel like that is what this creative team is probably going to do.
I like how James Gunn and DC Studios are taking an approach of something that they're doing the opposite of what Marvel Studios seems to have done all along, but it worked for Marvel very early on, where they just start filming maybe before they have a script, and they kind of are making pages as they go. And now, like James Gunn was asked about Batman and other DC characters appearing in the DC universe before. Like, I think it was a specifically Batman question. He said, "We are not making that movie until we have a script. Like, yeah, it's on the plans, but we're not making it until there's a script." And that's like you read that Joanna Robinson's MCU book. We all did. And they were just throwing stuff at a wall. And fortunately, it was sticking because Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. and all of them like struck gold working together. And it seems like now when they were trying to make too much content at Marvel, too many titles at once, that kind of caught up with them. They weren't able to get away with it and kind of make those pages the way they needed to be made. And James Gunn, I think, having experienced that, probably made his scripts for Guardians more than a lot of other Marvel projects seem to, because that seems to be his filmmaking MO. But I do like that he's saying, listen, until we know we got something good, we're not even starting. We're not wasting $1 on filming, on production. And we'll see if this ever actually reaches that stage, this Sergeant Rock project. One more bit about DC here. Frank Grillo, about Superman in an interview with Collider, said, "I'm not blowing it out of proportion. My skin was hot and I had goosebumps. That's how great it is." First of all, I just like Frank Grillo. I think Frank Grillo is just like a cool dude. Like that dude just oozes. He's just cool. Like, I mean, I don't know how to describe it. Has anyone ever interviewed him?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, one day we'll get him on the show or something. I bet we will, because he is just a good. I bet he'll join us during Creature Commandos. He's in the interview I just posted it was James Gunn, Frank Grillo, Steve Agee, and Maria Bakalova, and it was awesome. Sat there with them for 15 minutes. They were great. They were awesome. But Frank Grillo's he's so cool. I don't know. But anyway, Jenna, how does this quote about Superman make you feel? Because I know this is a movie that you, of all of us, are particularly excited for.
Hearing him say that he had goosebumps gives me goosebumps. Like, I know this movie is kind of just like nebulous at this point. There is so much that we don't know, even as they did film in person, even as we do know the majority of the cast. I love how much is still a mystery. And just hearing that it gets that kind of like visceral reaction from the cast members, I could not be more excited.
I also think it's cool that Frank Grillo is in like all of the DC Universe projects right now.
Yeah.
Creature Commandos, Peacemaker Season 2, straight to Superman, but then straight to Peacemaker Season 2. He's like he is basically seemingly going to be a Nick Fury-like figure for the DC Universe in both live action and animation. And I think it's cool how they already are crossing him over from animation to live action. But yeah, any other, Jamie, Aaron, any thoughts on the Superman hype train, which seems to be leaving the station in full speed?
I think you're going to get a lot of stories like the one that Hugh talked about, where people were like almost in tears when he walked on set. I think we're totally going to get some of that stuff about the first days of my man being in the costume and how like it feels different. Like I feel like there's a real, I don't know, spiritual lifting that's going to happen from like people who really care about Superman, because it's been a long time. Like if you on the slide, it's been a minute. It's been a while. If you don't count Henry Cavill showing up at the end of Black Adam for 4 seconds, it's been a minute since we've seen Superman in live action. If you don't count that and the Shadow and Peacemaker, that's it. That's all we've got.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fun, and I'm excited. Also, speaking of Frank Grillo, seeing Rick Flag encounter Peacemaker is gonna be something. After Peacemaker killed his son. Real quick shout out to the comments. Brandon Moore, that interview with the Creature Commando crew is so freaking good and hilarious. Thank you so much, Brandon. I'm glad you watched and enjoyed.
Happy
All right,
birthday, Brandon.
It's Brandon's birthday.
Yeah, it was.
Hey.
Happy birthday, Brandon Moore. Let's go.
Birthday.
We
Big
love
week for
Brandon
Brandon
here.
birthdays.
Yeah.
His birthday's
Yeah,
tomorrow,
my birthday.
everybody.
Woo.
Big birthday week for the Brandons in the house. All right, speaking of people in the house, before we get to our Marvel news, before we get to the trailers that dropped this week, we have a special guest live on Phase Hero. If you haven't watched Ultraman Rising, one, what are you doing? Two, we won't spoil it for you. We are going to talk about the film a bit, but we'll try to avoid spoilers as best we can while talking about this. All four of us have watched it. I got to go up to Skywalker Ranch in ILM to see how it was made. There's a whole video about that on the channel. If you haven't watched that, highly recommend it. It was really cool to see it. But there was one person I didn't get to talk to while I was there that I was like, you know what? That would be so cool to talk to Ken Sato himself. So joining now, Phase Hero, the voice of Ken Sato from Ultraman Rising, Christopher Sean.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, man?
Excuse me. I'm so honored to be here. I saw your videos at Skywalker. You look like you had so much fun, and I'm so happy you guys all watched the movie. Thank you so much.
Dude, thank you so much for being a part of this film and I mean, going up to Skywalker Ranch, what an absolute dream that was. That was so cool. I want to start at the beginning of the journey with you. We all have a bunch of questions for you, but I would like to just tee you up to hear about how Ultraman was introduced to you, and maybe because this is a character invented in 1966. So, what was your first intro to Ultraman, and then what on top of that, what was your first intro to Ultraman in the form of Ultraman Rising?
Great question. When I was a kid in Japan, my mom's Japanese, my family's from Yugawara in the Kanagawa prefecture of Japan. And when I was a kid in Japan, I would see Ultraman at my grandparents' place. And I'd go to the omatsuri, the festivals, and I'd buy the Ultraman mask. Yeah, I'd get the Ultraman mask, like that Ultraman action figure. And I would wear the mask as I was trying to play all the festival games and stuff. And I was always like, I'm going to be Ultraman one day. And lo and behold, I became Ultraman. That was my introduction. Yeah.
I love that. So it seems like since the movie's come out, one prevailing reaction has been a lot of people thirsting over your character, for lack of a better term. Were you prepared for that when you were working on the movie and when you saw the character design for the first time?
I don't know. It's not as thirsty as everyone is towards like Aaron or Brandon. They're really thirsty towards them. But overall, it's been a really humbling experience. I'm very happy that everyone loves the character. Doesn't look like me, so I can't really take credit for that. I breathe life into the character that Shannon Tyndall and Mark Hames had created, and the entire team that made such a beautiful and charismatic and fun and cool character. I'm just honored to be a small piece that culminates who Ken Sato is.
The character's awesome. But I mean, outside of the thirsting for the character, I imagine that may have been a bit of a surprise. Has there been anything? Listen, it was funny because back when we were up at Skywalker, they were showing us the VFX designs, and they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I think it's always fun to joke about that stuff. But was there any of the reactions? Aside from the people who thought Ken Sato was the hottest thing walking the animated earth, that surprised you? What's it been like to hear what people think after watching this film and the positive reception to it?
You know what I loved? I loved that so many people found him to be the hot dad. I was like, that's pretty awesome. And surprising. I was more surprised that he didn't win Hot Dad of the Year award. Somebody else won that. Best Animated Dad, right? But I just the fact that alone that his character's journey from total self-centered baseball superstar, to becoming a great dad, becoming a superhero, understanding what it means to be a superhero and to be a super dad.
That's so sweet. I love that. I feel like, some people were thirsting over your character. I was melting over Emmy. She's the cutest kaiju I've ever seen in my life. And I want to know what your reaction was to seeing that design for the first time.
It's still surreal. Excuse me. It's still surreal. like when I first got the call that I booked Ultraman, they were like, oh, the code name was Gamma Man. So the entire time I thought I'm booking Gamma Man, and then they did the reveal, like, no, you're not Gamma Man. Sorry, you're not the lead of Gamma Man. I thought, another failure, dang. And they're like, oh, you booked the lead of Ultraman. I was like, yeah, but it's not Gamma Man. I'm like, kind of in the butt, and they're like, no, it's Ultraman. I was like, wait, the Ultraman? Like I have.
Oh,
Oh,
I think we got to pause on the internet connection there. This was just getting good too. This
no.
was like
I
we were
know.
just hearing about the moment.
Am I here still?
Oh wait, he's
Yeah,
back.
here
Okay,
you are, there
we
you
lost
are.
it just when you were realizing it's Ultraman.
And I was like, it's Ultraman, and I have his action figure, and I was freaking out, and I called my mom, and I called my grandparents. I was like, guys, I'm gonna be a superhero. I'm breaking NDA. They're like, don't tell anyone. Like, but yeah, and then as they unfolded, as they showed me Gary Watanabe's character, and Tamlin Tomita's characters, and then the baby kaiju Emmy, voiced by Vocaloids, and Brett Marnell created the voice. It's just like. It still doesn't feel real. Let me show you this. I mean, I'm like hyping. You know what I mean? Like, I got everything Ultraman at the house,
Dude.
and I'm just a big fan myself. So it's like so cool to just be a part of this world.
That's so cool. I saw you. I saw the videos that you went around LA and you were delivering Ultraman swag bags to people. That is, dude. I mean, props to you though, because like it's so cool to see people enjoy playing these characters. Like, I mean, we do this show and everything we do because we love this stuff. Like, we love the movies, we love the shows, we love the comics, we love the things that inspire these things and the people who bring them to life. And every once in a while, you come across somebody like, I know everybody loves working and playing a cool character, but every once in a while, it seems like we meet somebody like you who truly has a passion for the character they get to play. And I just think it's cool to recognize that because you're not going to see a lot of people who are willing to celebrate the character the way that you have. I think it's awesome.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, honestly, every opportunity I've been given is a godsend. I'm so excited just to have the opportunity to play and do what I love. When I booked Nightwing, I mean, Jenna, you seem to be a huge DC fan, which is awesome. And I was like, oh yes, you're an almanac, teach me. But when I booked Nightwing, Nightwing was my screensaver for like 15 years. And then I'm the first Asian American to play Nightwing. I never thought I could play Nightwing, right? And that's amazing. And again, with Ultraman being a Japanese character, a Japanese IP, I never thought I'd be able to play Ultraman being half Japanese. And here we are, like miracles happen.
Well, I gotta say, your enthusiasm for the character, like you're true to this. I'm an Ultraman Tiga fan. Like when it came
I'm
back
just
here,
kidding.
there's so many that there are people on the internet who are judging me right now for saying that.
Okay.
I was what?
I'm just kidding.
I was wondering if you had the opportunity, since everything is possible, would you be open to playing a character live action? Would you love to do that too? Oh, he's been in the gym already, y'all.
Does this look like I'm not ready, baby? Let's go.
that's a thumbnail.
Yeah.
If I could do any live action characters, I mean, Ultraman just did a crossover with Marvel Avengers. How amazing would it be to be part of the MCU? That'd be huge to play any Ultra character in any Ultra character in any iteration. Live action would be a dream come true. And honestly, Subaraya, they are incredible. And the plans that they have moving forward, I'm so excited for any and all new people to be able to enjoy the world and the fan base that is Ultraman.
I think it's really cool that it's on Netflix now, and that means a whole new audience, a global audience, is getting access to Ultraman Rising. I really appreciate that Netflix is also, like, as I'm sure you know, Netflix is doing their best to give this an awards push, and I think that's awesome. Like, I think it's cool they're getting behind the project like that. I think it deserves it. Visually, it's astonishing as well. Like, the story's great. The emotional punches in this movie are even better than the action punches, and the action punches are great. But for me, like the visuals on this film, like from those first frames, it's just so engaging. When you were working on it, did you get to see that while you were voicing the character? Did the visuals of it impact your performance at all?
You know what? To be honest, every time they gave me a tidbit, I was like eccentric. I was overly excited. Like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, so I'm super, super fangirling every moment that I got a new asset, that I got to see a part of the movie. But to be honest, I read the script. Shannon Tyndall, like I said, Mark Hames, they wrote the script. And it was, I got the full script. I read the whole script, and I sent a picture of myself sobbing. And I was like, this is the best script I ever read. Thank you, Shannon, for letting me be a part of this.
And then we're going to bring that picture up now. No.
But no, I mean, I wanted to give it my 110% because I've never read a script that was my story. Basically, being not Japanese enough to be Japanese, not white enough to be white, not really fitting in anywhere. Like, and Ken Sato had that complex where he was like, you ever grow up where, people make fun of the way you look, what you eat, how you talk? You learn real quick. They're going to make fun of you no matter what. Give them something to talk about. So that was my story. And then, having a sister with Down syndrome and living in a life where I didn't fit in, becoming a stepfather, having these monsters that I'm like learning how to raise, like, it was just my story told in different puzzle pieces. So my dad called me after he watched it and he was like, dude, beautiful movie, but it's crazy how similar this was to your life. And I'm like, yeah, man. So it's like literally the best script I ever did. And regardless if I saw assets or not, my goal was to give it 1000%, everything I had. I even told the team, I was like, I'll come in. If you need me, I'll do it behind closed doors. Like, I'll make this as good as possible. And they're like, dude, we're going to follow union regulation, but thank you.
Dude, wow. That's awesome to hear. I got to talk to Shannon quite a bit. Shannon Tyndall, director of Ultraman Rising. And he told me he has ideas for this. He told me his ideas for the sequel. I was like, wait a second. Are you sure you should share this? He told me the title. He wants it to be Ultraman Fallen. It's got that credit scene with, I won't say anything about what the credit scene is, but if you haven't watched Ultraman Rising yet, stay through the credits, as all good comic book movie fans know. But I mean, have you guys talked about that? Because when he told me, he was telling John for the first time, and John was like, "I didn't even know you had these ideas." And then I ended up sitting next to Shannon on our flight out of San Francisco, and we talked for like a whole 2 hours. It was amazing, and I heard so much about what he wants to do. But I would love to hear about what those conversations are like for you. Are you guys already, batting around? No pun intended. What you want to do with Ultraman sequel?
Ooh, good pun.
It was an
To be
accident,
to be a fly on the wall in your conversation on that plane would have been amazing. Honestly, every minute I'm around Shannon, I just want to soak it all up. He's the best leader I've ever met. He's the most inspirational and talented artist and writer and director. I'm so I'm so enamored by him. He's so talented. But yes. Actually, we had a dinner. It was.
Ooh.
And John was there. So it was John, myself, Tamlin, Getty. We invited Keone. He couldn't make it, but it was it was the cast and Julia couldn't make it either. I apologize to Julia. But anyway, we were together, and Shannon was like, "Here's the idea. I've already written the first 15 pages. Here's the idea of the movie, and this is what's gonna happen, and this is gonna happen." And I'm sitting there, and there are times like when you got excited about what you were talking about. Harry Potter. I'm sorry, what's his name? Daniel
Craig.
Daniel Craig. Yes, when you were excited about Daniel Craig being a superhero, and that excitement, I well up in tears when I get so excited. And when he was telling me that story, it's just inside I started shaking. I was like, this is unreal. Like, could this, like, oh my God, how could the second one be better than the first? And the first is literally like, it's on everyone's mouths right now. We're talking about awards right now, and Ultraman's in the conversation, which is surreal, but it's going to be better than the first. So yeah, I'm very, very hyped.
Well, I mean, Ultraman was the same creator as Godzilla, same co-creator as Godzilla, and Godzilla just won its first Academy Award with -1. So I feel like, hey, maybe we're on the way. Before we let you go, thanks for hanging with us. I would love to hear what are, like, I could tell you enjoy a lot of the same stuff we do. I see how much playing Nightwing meant to you. You've been a part of a Marvel game, DC game. Your resume is awesome.
I love it.
He was ready.
Yeah.
He knows what podcast he's on.
Well, I was just gonna ask, what are you looking forward to? What are you watching right now? If you want to tell us what superhero you really want to play in live action, if given the shot, you can hold up those comics again. But I mean, we could start that headline train.
Honestly, my whole life I've really dedicated myself to characters like Ultraman, characters like Nightwing. I've worked out, I've stayed in shape, I've always tried to be charismatic, intelligent, and also pure of heart. My obviously live action choice would always be Nightwing, and I think there's a great opportunity for them to take it in a diverse direction. But honestly, anything James Gunn. For me, everything he's created, it's just been a smash hit. So I'm really excited to see Creature Commandos and the Bat Family movies and the next Batman project and the new Superman, like everything he's got going on. You name it, is the Midas touch. Guardians of the Galaxy, come on, like all of them. Dude, that fight scene in 3 when they're fighting in the hallway and it's just cutting from one character to the next and how they're co collaborative fighting, like it was one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen. And like to have an opportunity to work on something like that, I was like, that would be a dream come true. Fighting alongside the Phase Hero Squad, that's what I'm talking about. You know, that would be it.
You're welcome anytime, man. Thank you so much for hanging with us. If I see James Gunn anytime soon, I might see him in a few weeks. I'm gonna be like, hey man, here, I know a guy, and we'll see if you know, I'll put in the word. He came on the show. He did one of these, and I knew that's. Man, Christopher, Sean, everybody, thank you so much for coming to hang with us on Phase Hero. Congratulations on the success of Ultraman Rising. You have our support. The comment section is clearly in love with you. We love to see it. And thank you, man. Thank you for hanging with us.
Thank you all. Have a great day. And I'll continue your successes. This show is blowing up, and you guys all deserve it because you're so cool and so fun. Thank you all.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, brother. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
And if you close the browser, it'll there you go. There's a lot of people need the directions on how to close the browser. He was an expert already. Dude, that was he was awesome.
So great.
He was a freaking he's such a good dude.
What a
I knew he'd be
sweetheart.
fun to talk to.
Delightful.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than someone who has passion for what they're doing, because it's that thing where it's like you everyone's talented who's doing it, right? They have the talent, and that's enough to deserve it. You don't have to be a fan if you have the talent, I think. But when you're also a fan and have the talent, that's the sauce right there. That's the juice, and it makes me excited.
I say that guy sat there after we were at an event, and every single person that wanted to take a picture about Ultraman, he took a picture and made sure to take a picture. Like, are you good? You want anything else? Blah blah blah. He's just a good dude in general. So you always.
I mean, those are the little things. Again, I get, sometimes it might get tiring, it might get exhausting, but those little moments, like you just described it because of how much it meant to see it happen. I think, and it takes a special kind of person, I think, to have the patience, to have the genuine passion to want to do that. He's a cool dude. I'm so glad he came on the show. That was cool. And I see that there's a lot of people in the comments who are like, oh, I haven't watched Ultraman. Now I'm going to go watch it. I think I'm not blowing smoke. I genuinely think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
The animation's great.
The animation is insane. It's so good. There is a video on my YouTube channel about how it was made. If you haven't checked it out, if you want to hear more about Ultraman after you watch the movie, definitely after you watch the movie for that video. Go check it out. And that whole story of what the sequel would be about is in there. All right, we got to shift over to some Marvel news, including our Venom scores. That's coming at the end, right before some trailer chat. But Jenna, there's some exciting X-Men updates. All right.
Yeah, so Kevin Feige is yapping. He appeared via video message at the Disney APAC Content Showcase in Singapore. He talked a little bit about Fantastic Four and about just other projects in Marvel, but he really talked about X-Men. He said, quote, "I think you will see that continues in our next few movies with some X-Men players that you might recognize. Right after that, the whole story of Secret Wars really leads us into a new age of mutants and of the X-Men. Again, it's one of those dreams come true. We finally have the X-Men back." And obviously that he's referring to is seeing the mutants in Deadpool and Wolverine. So that has me really excited. How about y'all?
I just want to know where. Like, I look at the schedule and like, where could they possibly be coming? Granted, I didn't expect to get mutants in Miss Marvel or Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So it could be anywhere. As he says, they're coming soon. But I look at the schedule and like, I really think it's going to be that post-Secret Wars is where they're really going to happen. I think pre-Secret Wars is we might get a few mutants, but I think we're going to get Fox X-Men in the fold, which I love that. I mean, you all know I'm here for it. Number one supporter.
Yeah, I'm still convinced that Secret Wars is going to be a lot of Fox X-Men versus Avengers. I really think that that's going to happen, and then then they're finally going to be done. I don't think that beautiful montage in the credits of Deadpool Wolverine are the real end, because my boy Beast is out there. I saw him in the post-credit scene, and I need to see him again. So, and remember when Feige said UBD when he was like, "What did you want to wait 10 years for X-Men?" It's because he knows that it's like they're coming. But I am ready for the new. I'm ready for the new. I am. Give me one more Fox farewell, so we can see the big players, and then goodbye. Let's start over.
As somebody who it was hyped to be doing this at AGBO offices last night, I got to wear the Doctor Doom mask. I still think Avengers vs. X-Men would have been a better title and better movie to set up Secret Wars. I still think that sells a lot more tickets. That gets everybody excited. Now, listen, I'm excited for Doomsday. I just think Avengers vs. X-Men is the movie we all really want to see with those OG casts while they can still go. Like John Cena's on the retirement tour. We're all getting too old to see this. So, but anyway, Aaron, you have any thoughts on the X-Men?
I think that the success of Deadpool and Wolverine is going to necessitate you to bring in more of those Fox characters uniformly. I was joking with someone is my personal life, not with you guys. I should have said this to you, but like, you know how much money you could get from like a like Ted and Gambit thing. Like any of his shorts from anybody in that movie, anybody just popping up is immediately going to excite the crowd in a way that I just was like kind of somewhat skeptical of, because everybody said they were tired of the multiverse, but then it's not really we're tired of the multiverse. It's that the certain things that we want, that's where it's probably going to come in. So I still think you're going to get, maybe not on the Doomsday poster, but if that Secret Wars poster isn't Robert Downey Jr. and Toby and friggin' Hugh Jackman, like, what are we doing? Like, why?
Yeah.
What, you not like money? I know you like money.
I will just say with the new X-Men of it all, of like the new era after Secret Wars, like we forget that the X-Men reboot has a writer. Like it has been reported. We do know that someone is working on it. And I think having lived through and podcasted through all of the Fantastic Four changes and all of the scripts that went through, I think they're really starting as early as humanly possible on that reboot so that they can have that script ready to go as soon as they can. And so that movie could be out probably right after Secret Wars, which I think is the way to go.
I mean, and Doomsday and Secret Wars are in pre-production right now. I mean, they're getting ready to start filming. So I think that once that's done, after Endgame, they wanted to hit the ground running. So after Secret Wars, it's going to be the same thing. That like they're going to want to have that script ready. I'm sure they're probably going to have some people cast, and if they can find a way to use Secret Wars as like a handoff where you introduce a few concepts, few characters, I think that would be wise, and I think they will. Aaron, speaking of the success of Deadpool and Wolverine prompting, these characters to come back, I think it's insane to think there wouldn't be another Gambit appearance with Channing Tatum, because that has gotten a fervor on the internet. I know there's a lot of people who are like, he ruined Gambit. Shut up. It was fun. Watch X-Men 97. I really think we'll get all new X-Men, including Gambit, in the post Secret Wars era. I personally thought Gambit was super fun, and his action scenes were fucking awesome in Deadpool and Wolverine. So I don't care. Bring him back. I'm here for it. But Deadpool Wolverine, not only the highest selling, best performing movie on digital, highest selling home release in 1 week for an R-rated film, and it's breaking the records on Disney Plus, which were previously held for first week streaming by Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Deadpool and Wolverine is a massive success. Like, it's just a massive success. That's what you build on. That's to Aaron's point, 100% correct. I completely agree. That's what you build on. That's going to prompt more of these actors, more of these storylines to be built on going forward. But also, there's another character that people really like.
Oh, well, this is actually a perfect segue to get into a little Elizabeth Olsen talk. I had to bring
Do
up
you
this
ever
quote
need a segue for that?
No, but it is good because we're talking about the fact that Deadpool and Wolverine, it made so much money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Elizabeth Olsen had a really good quote. It was through Vulture, but I think it was at a FYP event or something. She said it in front of on a stage, I think. But she basically said Marvel films help theaters pay the rent. which basically in turn, will help smaller films to make their way to the big screen. And she quoted, she said, "I think streaming is sometimes the only option for small films to be seen. I just don't have an interest in making something with the intention of knowing it's for streaming." And I really love this quote because, of course, she just made His Three Daughters, which was a straight to Netflix movie, but it was not made for Netflix. Netflix purchased it and distributed it. That's what happened there. They didn't make that movie for Netflix. But the idea that she's right. We can say all we want about Marvel movies, but Deadpool and Wolverine made $1 billion this year, and theaters are really struggling. And it's partly because movies come on streaming so quickly because people don't know how to behave in a theater. I know I complain about it every week, but it's true. It's true. People don't want to sit in a theater with people being rude around them and talking and being on their phones. It's just a fact. But people show up for Marvel. They do. And I love that Elizabeth Olsen's not afraid to say that. She's not ashamed of the fact she clearly likes playing Wanda. And I like that she says she also said she doesn't believe in the idea of one for them, one for me, which has been a sentiment with actors for a long time. And I like that because it feels like sometimes people are they do it for the paycheck, and I don't think she does. But I do really like this attitude that she has.
I appreciate that she has Marvel's back essentially because Marvel has helped her, and there's no reason for her or anybody to have a negative opinion about Marvel unless you had a bad experience making a film. Doesn't sound like she has. And I just think I think it's funny how there's so many people on film Twitter and all this shit that will shit talk Marvel, and they'll hate on anything from Marvel to The Rock to anything that is just typically a blockbuster associated name or brand. And they're the same people that are like, but why are movie theaters dying? We have to save theaters. It's well, you hate the movies that are driving people to theaters. You are so proud to hate them. So I don't know. It's the same thing in just our industry. The same there's people in the digital media space who won't cover certain bits of news that are clearly bits of news from something like us or other outlets because they see them as competition, and they'd rather not get clicks than and in exchange not support somebody they see as competition. I just think stop looking at everything as competition. Start looking at everything that's a win is a win, unless it's Sound of Freedom, then fuck that movie. I don't really need to see that make money. But I just
I love having her own show.
I know.
But, I think I just good on Elizabeth Olsen for being realistic and honest and saying if you hate Marvel, she didn't say this, but yeah, if you're hating on Marvel and people who go see Marvel movies, but simultaneously trying to say we need to save theaters. You sound dumb. You're contradicting yourself. I know I'm a big Marvel fan. It's it's easy for me to take that side, but
I want to add too, if you are somebody who only goes to see the big movies in theaters, consider seeing other stuff. Consider seeing something you've never heard of, unless it's Sound of Freedom. But no, but again, there's so many films out right now, and of course the money thing is a factor. Obviously, it's expensive. AMC A-List is such a good deal. $20 a month, 3 movies a week. Pay me, AMC, to promote your shit because it's really amazing. But it's if you have the means, and seriously, watch movies and do it in a theater on a big screen because it's always, it's beautiful. It's magic. Nicole Kidman's right. I think that plays of magic.
I will say, Jamie, to your point, Godzilla -1, we mentioned it earlier in the show. That is a movie that, on paper, I didn't even really know it was coming out until already opening weekend. And we were like, okay, we're going to go see this in a theater. We're not going to wait until streaming. And just being in the suburbs and going in the middle of the afternoon on a Saturday, and it was almost a full screening. And it's this is for a movie that's not even in English. And most of the people here, probably this is the first time they're watching a not English movie in a theater in this context. And it was great to be able to have that experience. So yeah, I agree with you. Go see things, go expand your horizons.
I'm so glad I went to see Godzilla -1 in theaters, and I'll be honest, I only went because of the positive reactions. People were loving it, and I was like, damn, y'all were right. It worked. But yeah, there's, and I'm glad we talk about more than Marvel on Phase Hero. We might as well have called the show that. But it's there's movies like Anora. There's Gladiator II. Me and Jamie watched a movie on Monday that we can't say what it was, that we were both really delighted by. And we're like, this could be a new franchise type thing. So once that comes out, that's not an original, that's a sequel type thing. But there are originals, there are sequels, there are non-Marvel movies. Obviously, just go to I don't know. I just like going to the movies, and I also think people exaggerate a little bit about how awful sometimes theaters can be. Yeah, sometimes you might get somebody in there who yaps and stuff. Just turn around.
You don't go as much as I do, BD. Yeah. It's bad. It's bad.
I guess I go more times now. I'm very spoiled. I go for work more often than not. So it's like people there are and I don't buy tickets to movies as much as I used to because most of the time I've seen them by the time they hit theaters, which is a fantastic problem to have. I know. That is not a complaint. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't even know what it couldn't have been that long ago. I've gone to movies.
You probably bought a Deadpool and Wolverine ticket to go watch it.
I definitely did.
Probably.
I did do that a couple times actually. Yeah,
I wasn't even trying to read him for filth or anything, Aaron. It was just probably a fact. I was just a guess.
No, but I'm going to buy a ticket to go see Nora because I haven't seen a screening of that. Wherever I am when it's not out yet, right?
It's been out in LA for a while. I don't know if it's out everywhere.
Yeah, well, LA, okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know because I saw it weeks ago. I couldn't tell you.
Well, Blink Twice. That's another movie that I want to see that I haven't seen yet. All right. What else we got here? Oh, Aaron, this is going to be news to me.
Okay.
We were texting about this a little bit, but then Aaron did not provide the update on what this thing ultimately was.
So like there's spiderverse stuff. I'm sure those of you who are on You'll Seeking Barge saw this news about a Miles spider symbol going up in Chelsea in New York. People thought it was going to be a Beyond the Spider-Verse announcement. That is a really cool looking install. And for the people who are watching at home, it's like her spider symbol in like would be like electro like EL wire or like would be neon. And so everybody gets excited. Everybody's like, oh man, Beyond Spider-Verse, woo, we're gonna get something. Who knows, a release date, something. Not a trailer, that's definitely not coming, but at least something. And then I text the group, I don't think this is what people think it's going to be, and that's probably going to be an issue. So, come to like I think yesterday, I want to say it's yesterday or something. Sony reveals that they're doing something with like Bravia TVs where you can bring the cinema home, and it's like our buddy, me and BD's buddy, Cleo Thomas, getting his TV stolen off his front stoop as like a social media bid, and some other people. Other influencers kind of participating in it. And then, of course, the fans online react the way that you would expect to this kind of setup. And I was like, I feel like you could have seen this coming a couple miles away if you'd really thought about it, because it is probably the most anticipated, besides Tom's Spider-Man, Sony Marvel movie imaginable. And you put out this tease that, while cool, I'm sure the TV is nice. I'm sure that the screen is very good. I'm always hearing about what OLED technology is doing. Meanwhile, I don't buy it because it's expensive. And I'm like, our TV still works. So yeah, just everybody got pump faked about Beyond Spider-Verse. And as soon as it went up, I was like, this is a mistake. I hope they could do something else. Like, don't do this. Don't do this. Marvel, Brad, if you're listening, never put up like a Daredevil thing and be like, we signed something with Johnson & Johnson. It will not go well. It will not go well.
Can I just say for the audio listeners, I loved knowing what the twist was, but BD and Jamie did not know, and they had a visceral reaction once Aaron revealed what the story was.
His eyes.
God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
God.
Both of you just sad, just upset, and disappointed.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I saw the photo of that neon Spider-Verse logo on Twitter and everything, and I was like, I know that movie is very far off. Like, I don't even know if it's being animated yet. Like, I know they restarted the script after Across the Spider-Verse came out. They didn't have the ending. At least not agreed upon. So I was like, there's no way they're about to drop something for this. It's too good to be true.
Oh, no.
Jamie, do you have anything to add?
I think Madam Web's going to be the best Sony movie of the year.
Wow. Vindication.
No, but Venom 3 is better than Madam Web.
Right,
Not
We got to talk Venom 3. There
All right,
like
hold on. We got one more thing before
One
Venom
more
3.
story, then we got
Young Avengers thing. What's this Young Avengers thing?
Okay, so to brighten everybody's mood after that, new footage came out from World of Marvel, which is like an interactive dining experience on the Disney Cruise Lines. Of course, they're hyping up new places for Disney Cruise Lines. But we get a Young Avengers tease. Brad Winterbottom lied to our faces, y'all. In the post, there's a post-credits tag or a post tag for this little show that has freaking Cassie Lang, America Chavez, and Riri Williams all like hanging out, eating together, and then joke about shuffleboard, and they got all three of the actresses to like sit and talk to each other in costume about it. And I'm just like, the cruise lines have Young Avengers before we have Young Avengers, and that is sad. That is sad. Also, was Iman busy? Because she's curiously absent, even though she's supposed to be like going to be the leader. I don't know.
I think she would have said yes. I feel like I can't imagine her being like, no, thank you. I don't want to be in a cruise video.
I remember when this cruise line show launched, and it was like there was a scene with Brie Larson and Iman Vellani and like Anthony Mackie, and everyone was like, why are the Avengers, like this crop of Avengers, meeting for the first time in a cruise line video and not in anything that's actually canonical to the franchise? And I think they might have explained of like, maybe it's slightly in a different universe, maybe it isn't, like who knows? But yeah, it's wild that we're getting more crumbs for that than we are in certain other things.
Ultron is alive on the cruise liners.
Yeah,
I'm not joking. That's like it's me being serious.
The what?
I said Ultron's alive in the cruise liners.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like the villain of the little show.
Voiced by Ross Marquand.
Ross, So.
I remember when there was a time when we would have faith that the Young Avengers were like going to assemble in a meaningful way. Back when we, I think the MCU has had a phenomenal 2024, so I don't mean to put on my negative Nancy hat, but like these kids are going to be in their 40s, bro. Like what the, come on, like get them together. Let's do something. They're going to be as old. How old was Scarlett Johansson in the first Avengers movie?
I think people did the math of like, she was around the same age that Haley Steinfeld was filming Hawkeye. Yeah.
The middle-aged Avengers coming soon to a Disney Plus show near you. I mean, they're going to be in their 30s. Nothing wrong with that. I just, I feel like there used to be more organization with these things.
She was 28. Yeah, she was 28. Yeah. Haley's 27. According to the comments. Somebody wrote in the comments. I didn't just know Haley's name or Haley's age.
All right, it is time.
Finally.
Venom.
What? Venom?
The Last Dance review scores. We have a couple trailers we're going to talk about to end the show real quick if we still have time. But real quick, I don't think we have to spend too much time on Venom: The Last Dance because if I'm honest, I already forgot most of the movie. I watched it in 40X, so I don't even know that I comprehended most of the movie the first time anyway because 40X is just it's insane. But all right. 10 scores. And if we're above an 8, everybody, on average.
Venom horse tattoos, let's go.
Venom horse tattoos. I'm gonna book it right now. Comment section. Go ahead and drop your 10 scores for Venom: The Last Dance right now. We're going to go around here. I'll go first. I thought this movie was a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought this movie was so much fun. I laughed my ass off, sometimes with it, sometimes at it. It was silly. The Venom horse, the Venom frog, the Venom fish, all that stuff was great. There was a lot of creativity. There was too much scientist bullshit that I didn't care about. It was boring. There were some ridiculous beats that were just like, what? They turned them into the symbiote Power Rangers at the end there and threw them into a wood chipper monster. Shit was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. It was fun as hell. I give it a 6.
I think I'm pretty much with BD, which it was like a 6. Me and Jenna have talked, and you'll hear Jenna's thoughts on it in just a second. But the middle portion of this movie and then the fight sequence at the end, instead of doing the, as Brandon said, symbiote Power Rangers, which totally chef's kiss, perfect, would have been enriched by just have them all be Venom animals and have that be what happens. You had awesome Venom animal designs that are in the freaking credits of this movie that some poor person made that are really sick. And I'm like, wow, no Venom crocodile. No,
Where's
no
Venom? We bought a zoo. Where's that?
Yeah, like have the ending of it be in the zoo and having fight. So I don't know, but it wasn't like offensively bad or anything. It's just fun.
The dance scene was stupid.
Ooh, man, Brandon hate a musical number unless it's in Wicked.
Yeah,
I love Wicked. I'm getting a Wicked tattoo on my face. I loved it so much.
All right, I feel like this is a good place for me to go next.
Yeah.
Because I love ABBA so much, and I loved watching Venom dance to ABBA. That made me so happy. But even I have to admit that it's stupid writing when if you're turning into Venom to attract the villains, you're gonna die. I'm sorry, you can't be dancing. Like, even I have to draw the line there. And now I love watching ABBA. I love watching him sing to David Bowie. Sure, there were some fun things in this movie, but there's so much plot. Like, how have we not learned in 3 movies that we just want to watch Eddie and Venom shenanigans?
Yep.
So simple. And how dare you put all of Venom Horse in the trailer? I waited a year for Venom Horse, and then I sit down and I had already seen all of Venom Horse. My favorite part was the animation in the end, though, with all the animals. I love that. And let me tell you, I gave it a 3 on Letterboxd, which is a 6 on our show. But I'm gonna be honest, I would still get a Venom Horse tattoo because the thing looks awesome. It looks cool, but I didn't. I was disappointed. I really wanted to love this one, and I was like, I left like, okay. In the end, I only really loved the first movie, and that's just the fact of it all.
So
Jenna,
Jenna would
take us
have to
home.
give this movie a 14 for us to get a Venom
Yeah,
Horse
which
tattoo.
is
But
now that I know we're way past the point of hitting that number, I think I can just be honest here. I think I'm probably at like a 6.5 out of 10. Like, I definitely agree with BD. It has been so long since I've even seen it that like I've memory hold a good portion of what even happens in it. But what I do remember is absolutely delightful. I know in the before times I was always championing these movies just for how ridiculous they are, for ostensibly being like the earnest of comic book movies, of just I want to just see Venom in every scenario humanly possible. And when this movie gave me that, I loved it. Yes, the plot of the casino stuff and the ABBA dance scene make absolutely no sense, but I still had a lot of fun. So I was just like, I don't really care. And Tom Hardy is clearly having so much fun playing this character. And like, as we talked about with like the passion of it all, you can tell he's passionate. You can tell that he and Kelly Marcel literally like taking the reins of this franchise and kind of bringing it home. It's like, I have to admire what they were doing, even as it has some narrative inconsistencies. I think I might like some of the earlier movies better just in terms of like construction, but ultimately I'm glad that this was able to exist and just be as unhinged as it possibly is. And then we haven't mentioned Null at all in this conversation, which is also hilarious to me because
he's a video game cutscene villain.
Because we've mentioned him about as much as they mentioned him in the movie, or they actually show him in the movie. It's hilarious to me that like putting him in the trailers, putting him in the footage, the way that Jamie feels about Venom Horse was kind of how I felt about Null, of like, that's it, like literally nothing whatsoever. So that kind of worries me going into Spider-Man 4 and whatever else is next, because I'm like, what's going to happen with any of that? But I will see how they carry that baton and do anything with it. But I don't know, just for what it is, I'm glad that it exists.
I mean, I'm not offended by it. I just like Eddie and Venom. Tom Hardy's work is so good that I truly think we were robbed of what could have been an actually excellent Venom trilogy. And instead we got these stupid fun. I think Venom 2 is just outright bad. I think Venom 1 and Venom 3 are at least like you can say you had fun watching both of them. But like he should have been part of something better. You get a talent like Tom Hardy, a name like Tom Hardy, so dedicated to the role and clearly having so much fun with it. And this is what we get. That to me is a bummer. But I had fun. And honestly, this movie hit me a little bit more emotionally. Like I felt like I was watching Furious 7 at the end there with that freaking Maroon 5 song coming in. I was like, where the fuck did they get off? Hit me with these emotions. I was fucking pissed. I was like, why are you hitting me with this right now? And I was like, I don't want to feel this right now. This is so stupid. No, it was good. It was good. There was one part of me that was like, if that turnaround in the Statue of Liberty is bronze, I'm gonna lose my but yeah, so that brings
you're not all off the hook, because I do demand that at one point we get matching tattoos.
No, we will. We absolutely will.
This is important to me. But it happened organically.
Yeah.
But sadly, it won't be Venom Horse.
It won't be Venom Horse. Well, this would be a good time to show you guys my back. I got the Ben Affleck Venom Horse size. All right. So 6.1 out of 10 overall from the four of us. Yeah, sorry for the language. I get fired up when I think about Venom movies and how much better they should have been. All right. Minecraft dropped a trailer. More F-bombs surely coming out here. What do we think? No, I'm just kidding. I don't really have a passionate opinion about this other than maybe it shouldn't exist. Will I watch it? Maybe. If it's like a thing I get invited to, absolutely. I love the cast of these, but I don't have an affinity for Minecraft. so I can't tell. Like, I feel like if I did, I'd hate this. But
my only affinity for Minecraft is watching my fiance play it while I'm just sitting on the couch next to him. So it's kind of like sparse. But I didn't want to watch this trailer necessarily, but then hearing stuff about it, I was like, okay, fine, I'll put it on. And literally hearing Jack Black say, like, as a child, I yearned for the mines. I'm like, okay, this is exactly the tone that we're getting out of this movie. I think the animation and the CGI look a lot better than the first trailer. I am still bugged by the fact that like there seems to be 8 different light sources in every single shot, and that just does not look good for me. But like you said, I might check it out, but I don't know. It's better than the first trailer, definitely.
So, wait, do you want to go, Jamie?
Please, you go, please.
Okay. There's this thing where like they take so long to make these video game adaptations that I'm like, this would have been so huge if it had come out closer to when everybody first started freaking out about Minecraft. That I'm like, the only video game adaptation I could think of that took this long to come out that people still universally love is like The Last of Us, and this is like on the other end of the tonal spectrum. So I don't know what to expect out of this. I know Jack Black's fully committed. I know that he's just gonna do stuff, and I'm always gonna be a fan of our lovely AGBO getting to work anywhere else and do anything else after being in freaking Color Purple, which was great. And Jason Momoa continuing his streak of doing Jason Momoa, baby. That's right. This is 3 straight movies now, right? Where he going for it at every turn. And before anybody makes any jokes, I will be there when we finally finish up what happened in the last Fast movie, because he was having a time during that too, and that was a lot of fun. But
I always forget the last Fast movie was like the Fast and Furious Infinity War.
Yeah.
He was my favorite character of last year. I loved him so much in that movie.
Jason Momoa just at the stage of his career where he's like, I'm just doing shit where I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Minecraft. I don't care about Minecraft. Everything about this looks stupid, but I will ride or die for Danielle Brooks. I love Danielle Brooks. I'm still mad. She deserved an Emmy for Orange is the New Black and never got it. And because of that, I will watch anything she's in and support her. But other than that, I could care less. When you told me I had to watch the trailer for this, I was like, well, that's 2 minutes I'll never get back.
Yo, we're gonna have Jack Black on the show first week of April. Watch, and we're all gonna be like, we fucking love Minecraft.
Jack Black.
What?
Why did you throw Kyle under the bus like that, Jack Black? No, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna get into that.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, there's one more trailer. I think we might be more excited about this one. Let me pull it up here. How to Train Your Dragon. These images leaked online, so I think they were like, we got to drop the trailer. I really like the How to Train Your Dragon animated movies a lot. I really like them. I'm not going to lie. I think this looks pretty cool. I think this trailer's fun. I don't know. Am I on an island?
I think that the movie looks great. I do wish it was a little more saturated. Just comparing certain scenes in the animated movies to the live action screenshots, it's like it is night and day, and it's just the desaturated, bland coloring that we see in a lot of movies. It is interesting that like Toothless's design is exactly the same, and like people have pointed out, it really seems like the movie is trying to help get people even more excited for Epic Universe and for like going to the How to Train Your Dragon world there. So like it makes sense that his design translates one for one. But yeah, I really loved the first movie. I'm excited to see how they do this, and like if it is just a straight like beat for beat remake, or if there is going to be anything new in it.
I co-signed the Epic Universe of it all, because I thought the same thing. I was like, this is one of the major lands in that park. They want people to be excited, and since we pretty much reached the end of like the main story, how do you get people back in? The same way we do with everything. It's like, well, who's up for a live action reboot, baby? Who's ready? Because what you just said is beat for beat what people said about the mermaid first footage when it dropped, where it was like, but the original movie is so colorful and da-da-da. And I'm just like, that's the thing, is that anytime you try to capture animation in live action, there's going to be some stuff that gets kind of lost in the shuffle or just doesn't look good in live action. They do two different things. So
I know that.
Go ahead.
Listen, I know Wicked isn't from animation.
Yeah.
But the visuals in Wicked, it is colorful. It is gorgeous.
But is it as colorful as it could be? Is it backlit to hell? Yes. I don't know what's going on these days with the way films look, but they could look better. Like I love Wicked so much. I can't wait to talk about it further. But like that movie could have looked better. It just could have.
There's a TikTok
love
sound
it.
that goes around that's people. It's like, men, we don't need you to be streamers or YouTubers or gamers. We need you to be electricians.
Carpenters.
Please go light
Yeah.
our movies. Please go be gaffers. And it's
carpenters.
like, yeah, every
Yes.
time I see a trailer or a movie where the lighting could be better, that just plays in my head.
My thing
Well-
about this is that I have no attachment to How to Train Your Dragon. I've seen the first movie once. That's all I've seen. I thought it was cute. I think that the dragon looks good, but it's my same feeling I had when The Lion King came out, where it's like it's still all computer animated. Like it's like my
Nah, that's a real
favorite.
dragon.
That's the thing. Well, it's like my favorite live action remake of all time is the 90s 101 Dalmatians starring Glenn Close, because there's puppies running around and Glenn Close is amazing in that movie. But for the most part, it's like you're taking animated characters and just changing how they're animated, and that's not very interesting to me. Maybe I don't care if it's the same. I don't care if it's different. None of that really matters. I'll probably see it. The kids look good, but I just don't care. Is really what it comes
I'm
down
definitely
to.
seeing it, and I'm glad they got Gerard Butler back to play a live action version of his character. That's great. I'm in it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm on the How to Train Your Dragon Hive. Welcome me in, please. Please, people, take me with open arms. I've never been in there before, but I'm trying to join your club. All right, y'all. That's our show today. R.I.P. Venom: The Last Dance. It has come and gone. It's a thing of the past. I'm sorry we're not getting the tattoos, but we still owe ourselves some other tattoos. Next week we'll have Gladiator Wicked discussions. We'll see. Maybe we'll have a guest next week. Christopher Sean joined today, and that was I made that happen like yesterday afternoon. That came about. So
Ariana Grande and Denzel together on
yes, yes, heroes on heroes.
Yes.
Well, all right. Oh, I don't want to say. You got to see the movies. You got to see the movies. Go see Gladiator. Go see Wicked. Highly recommend. I think you'll have a good time. Jenna, any last words for today's show?
It's at Hey It's Jenna Lynn on social media, including Blue Sky if you are jumping over there. And as always, go read some comics and go follow my YouTube channel, which is at Go Read Some Comics. I just posted a video essay this week about the Penguin and the old Hollywood references that it uses and kind of just what they represent about the show as a whole and why I love those kinds of references. So please go watch the video.
Yep, I'm also on Blue Sky now. Let's try to make Blue Sky happen, everybody. Twitter's on its way out, I think, for a lot of us. Letterboxd at Jamie Jack. You know what it's about. Watch movies and do it politely.
Oh man, it's at Some Lake Corner on all platforms now. Yes, it's been delightful to see so many of you guys on Blue Sky. I'm probably the one of us who has been the most just like, we are divesting, we're figuring out what we're gonna do. I want to say shout out to New Rockstars for referencing our Brad interview not once but twice. They did a sneak peek, and Jessica has a breakdown of like all about Ironheart and how things have changed. One of Jamie's old articles made it in there. Our faces are in there multiple times. I'm like, are we friends? Are we best friends? Like, what's going on, New Rockstars?
Are we famous?
And Proximity Media, which is owned by Ryan Coogler, did a sit down. If you were wondering about small movie theaters and what they're going through, they did a sit down with the owners of Gardena Cinemas down here in Southern California. It is a big old theater with one screen. I went to see Barbie there, and I was immediately just obsessed about like, I wish more places like this existed where it was just a community theater that was its own thing, and the family that's owned it has owned it for 40 years, and they, trust me, they're not upset about Marvel movies or Barbie or whatever. They're like, when Barbie was out, they're like, we paid our rent so fast. It happened so fast. So if you want to go listen to that, it's on In Proximity.
Brandon Moore.
They do.
Happy birthday, Brandon Moore. New Rockstars Loves Face Hero. Game recognized game.
He did clarify in the comments that it was
Yeah.
not his birthday.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
just
wait,
makes that
really?
bit even
Got
funnier.
me. Yes.
Wait, when's the birthday? Did we all get got?
Right, Brandon. What is it?
He may have just been wishing you a happy birthday, and we
Yeah.
got confused because
Wow,
No.
too many Brandons. Crisis on Infinite Brandons. Oh no.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, also, we
Okay.
got to shout out Christopher Sean for
Yes.
being an amazing guest
Yes.
today.
Absolutely
What a-
delightful.
Yeah.
what a gem. I'm an instant stan.
Yes. Huge thanks to Christopher Sean. Thanks, Marshall, for helping put that together. Thanks, Netflix, for the for the awesome opportunity to go to Skywalker Ranch and ILM and all that. Huge thanks to everybody who continues to listen to and watch Phase Hero. Huge thanks to the massively positive receptions at James Gunn and Creature Commandos interview. The view count on YouTube is great. On social, it's soared past 100,000. Really, really appreciate that. It just means, the more you guys watch this stuff, if you have tips, things you want to see, things you want to have asked, all that kind of stuff, it's going to make you watch more. Please let us know. We're open. We are moldable. We are trying to do a show that people want to watch and just people want to be a part of, to celebrate the things that all of us like. The way we look at it, it's if we're interested, you're probably interested, because we consider ourselves our own target audience. So, if you guys have something you want to see or hear us talk about, let us know. Continue to follow all these fine people on the side of the screen here on social media. And if you want to hit me up for some reason, I don't know why you would. It's at Brandon Davis BD. Thank you so much for getting the channel past, 36,000? I don't know. It's some 33. I don't know. Thank you. Anyway, I'm a little caught up because it was a very busy week. I'm going away for my birthday. I'm disconnecting. So I'm not dead and gone. I'm just unplugging for the next few days. So if I'm posting, it's probably just a scheduled post. Thank you so much, everybody, for the support on Phase Hero. We will see you Wednesday for another episode. It won't be as late as this one does. We're going to go back. It's just because I flew home this morning and we had to move back a little bit and get Christopher Sean on the show. Bye. See you in the next one.